Today, I'll show you how to make a realistic and custom Cloverleaf interchange that can be adapted for any scenario a Cloverleaf would fit. For this interchange, we will need a distance of 635 yards on each set of highway roads. Level out the area and place parallel 3-lane one-way highways with a gap of 1 unit between them for a straight distance of 635 yards. Then we need to mark off 5 50-yard segments starting on each end of these roads. And this marker needs to be 50 yards from the outside lane of the road we are measuring. It will be important for symmetry later. Also, we leave a 35-yard mark that is centered on the highways we placed to line up the other set of highway roads that are part of this interchange. So these markings will give us guidelines for 6 sections of 50 yards each and the extra 35 yards in the center. Now we can go into our landscaping tool and raise the land between 8 and 9 contour lines, which will give us a height change of 16 to 18 feet, which looks realistic when it comes to our slope of the interchange ramps. Raise and flatten out a section so that we can lay down the overpass portion of the second set of highways on both sides of the lower highway set. Transfer the 35-yard road marker up onto the elevated section and place down parallel 1-lane one-way highways that have a 2-unit gap between them and lining them up with the outer zoning square on our 35-yard marker that we transferred up and the line of 50-yard markers we made on the lower highway earlier. This part needs the Snap to Zone grid selected in the road placement tool, so check to make sure that it is enabled. Place them at a 90-degree angle from our marker for a distance of 135 yards crossing over the lower highway. Next, we need to upgrade these 1-lane roads to 3-lane roads by adding a lane to each side of the lane we already have. This matches very closely to the spacing of the lower roads, which is important for the symmetry of this build as well. We can delete the upper 35-yard marker and cap the end of the upper highways with any road, as long as it will keep a node 50 yards from the outer lane of the lower highway. We can extend the upper 3-lane highway out 250 yards in each direction and mark every 50 meters in the center median like we did before. We can also transfer our markers into the center median for the lower roads. We now have all our nodes that we need to make the actual interchange part of the build, so we can delete all the markers that are not on the medians. Now we are going to reduce the lane number of our highways down to 2 lanes in some sections to allow proper merging and exit ramp lanes. We need to downgrade so the extra lane is on the outside and the interior solid white line remains straight. We downgrade the outermost 50-yard section and the third 50-yard section from the outside. And of course, copy this to all sides. Next, we raise half of the land between each of the 4 roadways to the height of the top highway on an approximately 45-degree angle from the center of the interchange. Then select the 1-lane one-way highway and starting at the innermost marker on the lower highway, make a curved road that is 50 yards by 50 yards and makes a quarter circle, which is a 90-degree angle. This road should also increase in height by 3.75 feet. You'll see with the contour lines that the end of the road has raised up a little bit. Set the road height back to 0 and do the same thing from the upper roadway, but decrease the ending road height by 3.75 feet this time. Same thing here, the end of the road you just made will be slightly sunk down into the heightened terrain. Now, with the slope terrain tool, make an even slope from the lower road end to the higher road end and connect with a 1-lane one-way highway. You don't need to increase or decrease the road height on this, as it will follow the land elevation for the correct height. Make a gradual slope on the outside of the loop we just made to place the right turn slip lane of the interchange. Select the 1-lane one-way highway and starting on the interior node of the isolated 3-lane section, make a curved road that is 50 yards by 50 yards, but it is at a 115-degree angle, so it curves around the exterior of the loop. No height adjustment is needed as we already sloped the terrain before. Do the same thing on the other side of the quadrant, a 50 yard by 50 yard road at a 115-degree angle. Connect the 2 roads you just made with a smooth curve using the curved road tool and road guidelines and correct the direction of the one-ways, which finishes off this quadrant. Now just go around and do the same process to the other 3 quadrants, just finish with some landscaping and detailing, and there you have it, a realistic and custom Cloverleaf interchange for your city. I have an entire playlist of these custom interchange, intersection, and roundabout builds, so I would of course recommend checking those out. And while you're here, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you want to see more Cities Skylines 2 content. I've been having a lot of fun playing so far. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.